I'm Ruth, a project manager. Project management has to be the most interesting course in the universe. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here is where we learn and keep learning as project managers. Did you know one interesting fact about PPPs is that the private sector can raise money more cheaply than governments? Governments can nearly always raise capital at a lower cost than the private sector, and the difference is large. The crisis has even made the problem worse. Public authorities are avoiding further PPPs and even renationalizing existing ones rather than making more use of PPP. PPPs bring together the expertise and resources of the two sectors with the intention of providing services or infrastructure at a better value for money. In this video, we are going to define PPPs and state different types of PPPs and their definitions. A PPP contract is a long-term contract between a private party and a government entity for providing a public asset or service, in which the private party bears significant risk and management responsibility, and remuneration is linked to performance. There are several different types of public-private partnership contracts, often referred to as PPPs and P3s, or in the United Kingdom, the Private Finance Initiative or PFIs, depending on the type of project, for example, road or prison, the level of risk transfer, the level of investment and the desired outcome. Build, own, operate, transfer, contract. The private sector builds and owns the facility for the duration of the contract, with the primary objective of recovering construction costs and more during the operational phase. The facility is handed back to the government at the end of the contract. The structure is appropriate when the government has a large gap in the financing of infrastructure, as capital and commercial risk remain with the private sector for the duration of the contract. This model is often used in school and hospital contracts. Build, own, operate, contract. This is similar to BOOT, but the facility is not transferred to the public sector partner. A BOOT transaction may qualify for tax-exempt status and is often used for water treatment or power plants. Design-build. The design-build contract is awarded to a private partner for the design and construction of a facility or part of the infrastructure that delivers the performance specification of the PPP contract. This type of PPP partnership can reduce time, save money, provide stronger guarantees, as working with a single entity rather than a consortium, and allocate additional project risks to the private sector. Design-build finance. The private sector builds an asset and finances capital costs only during the construction period. Design-build finance operate. The private sector designs, finances and constructs a new facility under a long-term lease and operates the facility during the lease term. The private partner will transfer the new facility to the public sector at the end of the lease term. Design-build, finance, maintain, operate. Similar to BOOT, DBFO, and its variations, is more widely used in the United Kingdom for PFI, Private Finance Initiative, projects. The private sector designs, builds, finances, operates an asset, and then leases it back to the government, typically over a period of 25 to 30 years. The long-term risk of the public sector is reduced and regular payments make it an attractive option for the private sector. Design, construct, maintain, finance. Design, construct, maintain, and finance are very similar to DBFM. The private entity creates the facility on the basis of the government body's specifications and leases it back to them. This is generally the PPP prison project convention. Design, build, finance, maintain, operate contracts. Similar to BOOT, DBFO, and its variations, is more widely used in the United Kingdom for PFI, Private Finance Initiative, projects. The private sector designs, builds, finances, operates an asset, and then leases it back to the government, typically over a period of 25 to 30 years. The long-term risk of the public sector is reduced, and regular payments make it an attractive option for the private sector. Design, construct, maintain, finance. Contracts. Design, construct, maintain, and finance are very similar to DBFM. The private entity creates the facility on the basis of the government body's specifications and leases it back to them. This is generally the PPP prison project convention. Operation and maintenance. In an O&M contract, a private operator operates and maintains an asset for a public partner, usually at an agreed level with specified obligations. Work is often subcontracted to specialized maintenance companies. Payment for this contract is either by way of a fixed fee, where a lump sum is paid to a private partner, or, more commonly, by way of a performance fee. In this situation, performance is stimulated by a pain share gain share mechanism that rewards the private partner for overperformance, according to agreed laws, or induces a penalty payment for work that has fallen short. Buy build operate contracts transfer of a public asset to a private or quasi-public entity, usually under a contract to upgrade and operate the assets for a specified period of time. Public control shall be exercised through the contract at the time of transfer. Operating license contracts. A private operator shall be given a license or a right to build and operate a public service, usually for a specified term. Similar to the BBO arrangement, these are often used in telecommunications and IC projects. In conclusion, we've learned the definition of PPPs, different types of PPPs, and their definitions. As we can see, further development of the private sector with potential investors can create more opportunities for the public sector to build effective and sustainable partnerships on PPP projects. Hope you found this video interesting and learned something new. Thank you, and please remember to like this video, share to educate others, let's interact in the comments section, and finally don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell to always get notified when we upload a video. Ciao!